And now, well, let's do a bit of recap of what has been happening. The state visit by President Bola Tinubu. Yes, and after his 2-day state visit to the United Kingdom on the invitation of King Charles III, the president, who arrived earlier today in the wee hours of today, was accompanied by his wife, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, received by top government officials, including the Senate President, who was there with them, Godswill Akpabio, the Chief of Staff, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, as well as senior officials, security chiefs, and this happened at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. During his visit, of course, we know, to the United Kingdom, he had high-level talks with the United Kingdom monarch and the government executive, discussions on strengthening bilateral trade ties, enhancing security cooperation, boosting economic cooperation between both countries. And the visit saw engagements with government officials and Nigerians in diaspora, as well as business leaders, and discussions centered on investment, trade, Nigeria's ongoing economic reforms. The presidency says the trip is expected to unlock new opportunities across key sectors of the economy. And the trip, as said, is expected to also support Nigeria's ongoing economic reform agenda and attract foreign direct investment into the economy. Meanwhile, the presidency is expected to release a detailed communique outlining the key diplomatic and economic breakthroughs achieved during the state visit. One of the highlights of the meeting of the president there in the United Kingdom is the signing of an MOU to revamp the Lagos ports. That was sealed in the presence of President Bola Tinubu there in the United Kingdom. He proceeded to engage in a high-level meeting with the Prime Minister there, Minister Keir Starmer, and the president was welcomed at the door, and then we had that signing at Downing Street, number 10 Downing Street, and our correspondent, Amarachi Ubani, put this together for us.
Day 2 of President Bola Tinubu's state visit to the UK centered around settling down to business. He said goodbye to King Charles and Queen Camilla and headed for number 10 Downing Street, where he met with the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who was waiting for him, standing on the red carpet that draped the steps to the entrance. Both men posed for pictures before President Tinubu was invited in. Mrs. Starmer hailed the state visit by the president as historic.
We have a lot of work that we already do on the economy, on defence and security, but today is the opportunity to take that to another level.
What we are facing is not a small challenge. Currently, the entire world is challenged. And Nigeria is not immune, so is Britain is not immune.
They both agreed a record-breaking steel deal under which British Steel will supply 120,000 tons of steel to refurbish 2 major ports in Lagos with a contract worth £70 million. Earlier in the day, President Tinubu witnessed the finalization and signing of a £746 million financing agreement. President Bola Tinubu also witnessed the finalization and signing of a £746 million financing agreement designed to fund the development of the Lagos Port Complex and Tinkan Island Port Complex. The signing was led by the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, and Citibank. He later addressed a room filled with UK and Nigerian diplomats Members of his entourage and Nigerians in diaspora, assuring them that change had begun and soon they will begin to see it. And while the president got through with his itinerary for the day, the First Lady, Tinubu, delivered a message of unity and faith to a gathering of religious leaders at Lambeth Palace, the historic seat of the Archbishop of Canterbury. In her address, she emphasized the importance of listening and finding value in every individual, regardless of background or belief. She told them, "We have to learn to listen to each other and try to get the good out of everyone, irrespective of who we are or who we worship." She later engaged with leaders of the Church of England, including the first black woman to become a bishop in the Church of England, Bishop Rose Josephine Hudson Wilkin, and Bishop Emma Innocent, Bishop of Kensington and the area bishop for West London. Amarachi Ubani, Channels Television News.
As you would guess, that agreement or deal on upgrading Lagos Port is of a big interest to us. Afterwards, our correspondent there in London, Juliana Olayinka, had a word with the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy to give us more details about that deal that was signed.
We have a financing for the port sector. Tin Can Port is 50 years old. Apapa about 100 years old. They need refurbishment, they need renewal, even reconstruction. So there is a project finance arrangement supported and guaranteed by the UK Export Finance Facility. And effectively, what that does, it makes the investment in the port and the renewal of the port something that will bring revenue that will pay for the loan. So in effect, it's a self-financing project, and these are the types of projects, these are the types of investments and initiatives we want to see more of. Where there's a loan, it is used to create more revenue that repays that loan.
Well, I'm so glad that the minister there emphasized the fact that it's a loan. That means we'll have to pay back. That's, I think, about £760 million. Nigeria will be paying that back, and I believe it will have some sort of interest on that. But the minister there also did talk about the fact that this should be a self-financing loan. So imagine if the ports are upgraded and more business is being done there. Revenue generated from there should improve and should be able, to deal with payment or repayment of that loan. And that is what we actually do hope will happen at the end of the day. Unfortunately, most of the times, these details are not so revealed. And, the workability, the timelines and all of that, so that journalists can ask questions and push for answers from the government especially. But let's hope this will be different. There's always the first time, of being optimistic. We hope that's what we'll see. Let's take a break now. When we come back on the other side, 2 weeks ago or so, we discussed the issue of family business and sustaining the business that has been started. Of course, without those businesses, then the economy feels that gap that has been created. We'll talk about a conference that may help you do that by the Lagos Business School. After the break, please stay with us.